let's look at all of the filler arcs for Bleach. First one, the Bounce arc. The Bounce were discriminated and shunned and cast down by the Soul Reapers, and then suddenly, after years and years of waiting until they could finally strike back, a massive rebellion of them against the Bounce, and the Bounce had their own unique powers and stuff like that. Great arc. That could have been a great arc. That could have been a great canon arc. If you know what, if Kubo came up with it himself and he did it, that would have been great. Ideas like that would have been great. Then the next one. I mean, I know in the fillers they weren't. I mean, in the fillers they were actually decent arcs, but imagine if Kubo actually did them himself and he did them well. Could have been amazing. Then we had. This was a great concept. Cut to the Mug Guy. Someone came in to replace Gin's spot because you know Gin and Tozen went with Aizen. Someone went in, replaced his spot, and then you had this whole dynamic of the Bakuto, and you had a royal princess and all that stuff. And you got to see more of the Soul Society as well, because you saw that they're nobles and they're royal people in the Soul Society. You saw these weapons that actually rivaled the zanpakuto. Seeing that sort of Trojan horse dynamic of you have a captain that's coming in, but really he's got other intentions. He wants to overthrow the Soul Society from the inside out. That would have been such a great idea if Kubo did it himself instead of this rehashed stuff. And these are just great ideas that Kubo could have come up with something different to just someone getting captured. I mean, all of the filler ideas are better than the canon. That's how you know a series is bad. Whereas Fairy Tail, the fillers are not as good as the canon material. The problem with both of these series is that the main characters haven't hit the wall. And hitting the wall is something I can describe as taking a loss or putting the character in a dire situation where you actually care for them. And I can describe it with Naruto. Naruto, all the time, you see him training, you see him have to overcome these problems. Like, at one point, he couldn't use the Rasen Shuriken because it would just mess up his chakra pass through his arm. And then there was a whole thing with Sage Mode where you have to overcome that as well. It always seems like each arc he came through had to overcome something mentally or physically, and he was learning something new. And I cared for the character because I saw him how hard he had to train to get to a place. And even in times where he did train hard and he tried his hardest, he lost to Sasuke. Like, when he had to fight Orochimaru, Naruto felt that kind of regret for unleashing the Nine-Tailed Fox. You don't really see that with Ichigo. It wasn't used as a plot dynamic to make you feel for the character more. It was just used to develop him. It was used to develop his power. That's all it was. Actually, Luffy's a great example of the character where they hit the wall and they have to come up with something new or they lose. Because with Luffy, Crocodile, he lost him twice until the third time he found out what his weakness was and he was able to take him down. Again with Luffy, the CP9 Water 7 / arc, I'll call it the CP9 Saga. He had to learn Gear Second to overcome all of those obstacles of the CP9 and how strong they were. He was pushed to the limit, he was pushed to the edge. That's what we want to see. Character deaths as well. Jiraiya dying for Naruto. You got a scene with him sitting down at a bench with the popsicle or ice cream, whatever you want to call it. Him and Jiraiya always used to share that when he was alive. Just that mirroring, that emotion hasn't been struck in Bleach or Fairy Tail. I mean, Fairy Tail, there has been a few sad moments, but there hasn't really been any deaths. And it's a damn shame, because moments like that are what separate a decent shonen from a great shonen. And we've seen it once with Ichigo, when it was with Byakuya, and that was cool, but like when Byakuya took him out with Renji, but I mean there's no deaths in Bleach, nothing like that. It's horrible. We haven't seen these characters being pushed to the edge and pushed to the limit.